Okay. Well, today we'll go on with this beautiful text that is called Delusion of Consciousness. Remember, I don't know if you remember what we read last week.
Yes.
And where the main topic is about what we were talking about just a few minutes ago. That the identification, the mechanisms of the mind to make us identify with our body, with our thoughts. And this can be called also with the illusion of this world. And so and all these things, this identification makes us suffer and also kind of delayed our evolution. So our masters are here. The function of the spiritual masters is to make us realize what we really are, and to help us to transcend this illusion or this delusion. Okay, so this text is about this. We can, I think that we can go on from this part. You are seeing the text on the screen?
Yes, and I have the paper too.
Yes, and you know that it was. We can start from the second paragraph with
Yes.
or the third one in page 46.
6.
That says the mind must have something to threaten you. From here. Do you want to start reading?
Yes. The mind must have something to threaten you with, to hold you hostage. There must be something you want or don't want for the mind to get you to listen to its false warnings, such as if you don't do this, something unpleasant is going to happen. More often than not, there is the fear of change because mind imagines what it doesn't know or has not projected is going to be negative.
Yes. The mind, these are the mechanisms of the mind. That the mind, or as Eckhart Tolle calls it, the voice in our head, that is always talking about something negative. And the mind imagines that and that's why we always feel that we had to plan everything and that we have to have the control of everything, because we feel that sometimes we are afraid of change, or we are afraid of uncertainty, of the things we don't know. So that's why what happens most of the time is difficult for us to make a decision to change, because we begin to feel that we are not feeling comfortable anymore in a job or in a relationship, or that is like a cycle that is finishing. But for us, many times it's difficult to change, or to make a decision to go or to go out of this situation. Okay, so let's go on. What does the mind make us believe? Let's read here that it is very useful what it says.
There will be a loss of some sort. or a stepping down, or a going backwards, all of which might lead of an annihilation, which is what the mind spends its whole time trying to avoid.
Okay, yes. This is very true. That when we are afraid of change, because although we feel that we are not comfortable anymore where we are, at the same time, we don't want to lose this kind of safety that something that is known for us gives
the
us.
Comfort zone.
Yes, that's it. So we tend to hold on to this. And he says that this sense of losing something, this sense of loss of some sort, is like a stepping down or going backwards. Stepping down, to step down, what is to como volver para atrás, es como dar un paso hacia atrás, como retroceder.
Yes.
That's why here it says stepping down. To step down, o sea, literally means bajar un escalón, to step down. Oh, and the figurative meaning, as in here, it is to move to a lower position, to reduce responsibility, or to retreat from a higher state. It often means losing status, power, control, or progress. These all are all negative feelings, but yes, they are not true. Okay. So, and going backwards, both of them have the same figurative meaning, that it means losing progress. Or here we have some examples. For example, after making progress in therapy, she suddenly started going backwards again. Is to go back to a previous state that is worse. It is not better. Okay. So let's go on.
Be daring with life, state. Okay, turn me into a street beggar if that is what you wish, but I'll be free, a street beggar. I love that sentence.
Yes. Be daring with life. Daring is a very, you know that in the previous paragraph, we saw some negative words or words to describe negative feelings. But this is a very positive word, daring. And this here it is used as an adjective, to be daring. And here and it can be used as an adjective or as a verb. As a verb is very usual in English. How do you dare to say me what you have said? ¿Cómo te atreves? And here we have some examples. You can read about the meaning of daring. I love this word. That's why, and here we have many synonyms that are very positive words. So let's read. Meaning of daring.
Yes, daring means brave, bold, courageous, willing to do or accept things that are difficult, risky, or uncertain. A daring person is not afraid to face life, even when life becomes uncomfortable or unpredictable. It's the opposite of being fearful or hesitant.
Very good. So here we have daring, and this sentence, this expression that says a daring person is not afraid to face life. And face is another word that can be used as a noun or as a as a verb. To face life is a daring person is not afraid of to face life. Enfrentar la vida. And that's why it says it's the opposite of being fearful or hesitant or doubtful, maybe also. Hesitant is a formal word, but cuando alguien está, cuando alguien duda, is something that doubts is doubtful. Okay. So let's go on. What does daring means in this context that we are reading?
Being open to whatever life brings, not resisting life, trusting deeply that your inner freedom is untouched,
Untouched.
And showing spiritual courage.
Yes, these are very powerful expressions because, and what other word appears here? Trust in life, having confidence, have faith. These are all very positive words. And I love this expression that says, trusting deeply that your inner freedom is untouched, because this is the function of difficult situations, that to make you realize that your inner state does not depend on external situation, that there is something, and this something is very important because it's what you really are, that nobody can touch, that it is your inner freedom. Yes, you can feel, because I say this, and I remember when I went to Portugal, when I stayed at the ashram, one day we were in a satsang, and there was a girl that she was from Spain, and she told Mooji that she worked in a prison. She worked with prisoners, and in the prison, the internet was not allowed. So she told the prisoners about Mooji and about the meditation. She herself, because he couldn't show them a video or something. And they started to contemplate and to meditate and to learn about Mooji's teachings. And she said it was very beautiful, that moment, because she said that a miracle happened because they wanted to meditate, and they wanted to have a place in the prison to meditate. And well, the authorities of the prison made a special room to meditate, and they told her, oh, I feel free. And they were in prison, that when they meditate, they feel free. And I don't know what it will happen in the future, but Mooji, after after she listened to the girl, she told that he received a letter, a mail from the prisoners, that the prisoners wrote to him to say they wanted to go to Sahasha. So I don't know if it will be possible, but it is a very beautiful proof that it doesn't matter where we are or what are our conditions, but we are free. But we have to connect with this freedom inside us, and it's a freedom that nobody can touch. Okay, so, and this very beautiful word daring or to dare, we can also use it in everyday language. For instance, well, in this context, it means life, I am not afraid of you. Do whatever you want. I remain free. Okay. And let's read some everyday examples.
Yes. She made a daring decision to move to another country alone. He was daring enough to speak in front of 500 people. Do you dare to tell him the truth? He dared to go farther than anyone else.
Okay, here you have the examples that you can use it as a verb or as an adjective. Okay, let's come back to this beautiful text. It says, I don't know, I like the last sentence or the previous one when it says, if you dare to say, okay, turn me into a street beggar if that is what you wish, but I'll be a free street beggar. So, and then you will see where the shaking is coming from. Can you do it? Others have done it and have found when faced, their fear is but a ghost that vanishes in the light of their courage and willingness to truly see. And this is something very, very important, that we are afraid of many things, but when we dare to face our fears, we can see that fear is only a ghost. Sometimes that fear is not real, because we are, this is a very important, it's very important to observe this, that what are we afraid of? Many, many times we are afraid of something that doesn't happen. That not, we are afraid of change, or we are afraid of something unknown, and the mind invent and imagine situations.
Yes.
But they are not real. So, and how can we see, or how can we experience that these situations are not real? If we face them, if we, you know that there is a phrase that it says, well, if you are afraid or if you have fear, do it the same.
Do
it. Okay, so let's go on, because here in this coming paragraph, it talks about fear.
Yes, the fear is always greater than the actuality. The fear comes because of lack of trust. You feel you can take better care of yourself than God can. You fear what God may have planned for you and may not be what you want. This is probably true because the dreams we have are confined to what we know of life and ourselves, which is
infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal to the vastness that is. When we let go of what we think will make us happy, we allow grace to breathe, and great and beautiful things not even imagined of are No, imagine of are given a space to happen.
Okay. This is what happens when we trust. But for us, this is the most difficult part because we are used to trust if we see. If we don't know what will happen, it's very difficult to trust. And he says, the fear is always greater than the actuality. Actuality than the reality. That's why it is we are afraid of something that is not real. And if we go and observe what is the cause of our fear, it's like this, because fear comes from our lack of trust. If we trust, we are not afraid. And we don't trust in God's ways for us or on what God has for us. You fear what God may have planned for you may not be what you want. This is probably true, because the dreams we have are confined to what we know of life and ourselves. What we know of life. What is what we know of life? What we know of life is very limited because we are used to know only through our minds. And there is something that is much vaster and greater than these limited things we can see with our minds. And this is what God has for us. And but what happens? To have access to these better things that God has for us, we have to let go. Let go what we think will make us happy. And in that way, we allow grace to breathe. Here, you know that we always talk about the different functions of words. Here, with the word to breathe, it changes a bit because the verb is to breathe. It changed the spelling and the pronunciation very, very little, because we say to breathe is the verb and breath without the final E is the noun. Okay, so if we let go our way of things or happiness, we make space for, or it's another way of saying we allow grace to breathe. We make space for God to operate in this space. And this last expression is very beautiful. What happens? Great and beautiful things not even imagined of are given space to happen. But for this, all we have to do is to trust. And I love because we say all we have to do, but it is the most difficult part sometimes. Okay, so let's go on a bit more. Page number 47.
Yet this apparent need to control the fear of the loss of it and the supposed Breaking out of this is also consciousness playing, because there is no individual outside of this consciousness to decide or act contrary to the permissive will of consciousness.
Yes. This is a very, here it comes the difficult part because he says this apparent need to control the fear or the loss of it, or this fear of losing control, and the supposed breaking out of this, to break out the spell of illusion, Mooji said, is also consciousness playing, because there is no individual outside of this consciousness to decide or act contrary to the permissive will of consciousness. Is like of a complex sentence, but what it means is there is nothing that is outside consciousness, that this consciousness is what we are. We are all part of, everything is connected, and we are all part of this, que es nuestro ser individual está como dentro, funciona dentro de la conciencia universal, esa conciencia que algunos llaman Dios y otros inteligencia o lo que sea, todo funciona dentro de eso y está conectado a eso. But what happens? Our mind makes us believe that we are separate individuals, and that it is true that we have free will, and that we can make decisions about our lives, but our destiny is the same. Our master says, you can decide, and you can took many ways, and you can take many ways, and you have many options, but all of us have the same destiny. And what is our destiny? To come back home. And what is to come back home? To connect with this consciousness that we are. So, but sometimes not sometimes, always, we get identified with our personal identity. And it may take us many lives to realize that we are not separate individuals. And because what happens? The soul wants to experience life. And when you get tired of experiencing, and every time it happens the same to you, you begin to look for something else. But maybe it can take you many lives to realize this. Okay, to realize what? That there is nothing outside consciousness. That we are not we here and there is God. All is connected and all is perfect. Okay, that's why let's read the last part. Everything is consciousness.
Everything is consciousness. Human beings and their activity are an effect and not the cause of consciousness. Ponder that. Can the characters in the first chapter of a book determine how the second chapter should be? Can they command the author to change situations and characters they don't like, or prevent the next chapter from happening? For some, seeing through the illusion of control is a deeply repressive idea, while in others it's completely liberating. Consciousness is not twisting your arm. You are invited to see.
Okay. Yes, it says, everything is consciousness. Human beings and their activity are an effect and not the cause of consciousness. Ponder that. To ponder is another formal word that means reflect on that. Or consider that. Can the characters in the first chapter of a book determine how the second chapter should be? It's like saying we are like characters in a movie or in a book. We feel we have the control of everything, and that we can determine what will happen. And it is not like that. It's much simpler than that. What we have to do is to let go and let the author command our lives. And that's why we only need to trust. So this is an opportunity we have. That's why Mooji says, awakening is your opportunity. Everyone has this opportunity, but we can take it or not. It's our choice. Okay, my friend. Wow. These texts are very important because at least we begin to observe and to experience, and the mechanisms of the mind are exposed. So at least we are becoming more conscious of how it works. Maybe then in our everyday life, it's difficult not to get involved or to identify. But little by little, we are beginning to make this space between and kind of this identification becomes less strong. Okay. And if you want, you can tell me a bit about your experience. If you feel that it is like this or not, what do you feel when you read this text, or whatever you want?
When I read this kind of text, I think life is simpler than we think.
Yes, or we feel. Yes.
And we are overwhelmed with nonsense, but it's difficult. We are. I am young, but I have lived a lot of years thinking with a chip.
Yes.
And it's difficult to change it, and we have to stop and pay attention and think of all these recommendations or explanations about how the mind works, and we don't take the time to do it.
Yes.
So for me, it's important to take time to do it.
Yes.
To do time.
Because it has to do with knowing ourselves. And it's a very good way of investing time.
Yes.
Our time. Because it is a very transformative practice. Because it is like this, we are gaining more we are becoming more conscious of how all this play of life works.
Yes.
So, and I use the word invest.
Yes.
Invest time is the opposite of was. We are so used to, and everything in the world is kind of made to do just the opposite.
Waste time.
Very good. To waste time. But we only realize this when we become tired of experiencing that, of jumping from one situation to another, and to put all our desires or our happiness in things, or in persons, or in relationships, or when we begin to invest more time in this kind of, yes, in ourselves, everything becomes better, and our life is transformed. And when we transform our lives, the lives of others is also transformed. So we have this opportunity, and it's beautiful to at least begin to devote more time to this. Because if we realize about the importance of this, nobody has to tell us that what we have to do. Naturally, will start to devote more time for this. Okay, and that's what we do here. So, well, and to finish, and we have the masters, the spiritual masters, who help us to do this, because they know, and God knows, that for us it's difficult. So we have this kind of help. We are not alone. So to finish, we can do a very short contemplation that talks about this, that is from Mooji, and the title is Be the Truth You Are. And you know that it talks about this. It says, "Beloved, may I remind you of something that if you stop for a moment, you will be able to verify. Every thought, every sensation, every situation that appears through your mind and senses have come and go. It is only when we engage with them and strongly believe and identify with them that they create some within you. We give them power when we believe them. And then you are believing that and living that shape. But again, I tell you, and you must see and confirm, any memory or desire that has come to your mind that has ever stayed with you, none of it is real. I am this, I am that, were all thought formations, all thought-based, ignited and preserved through the faculty of memory. So, but, he says, behind this, the unchanging and complete expanse of God's grace and presence is there. And you are this. You are the observer. You are watching all this dance of life appearing through the mind as thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations. So, he uses the same word that we saw in the text. He says, be courageous, be daring. Don't give in to your mind. Give in. Give in, this expression is no cedas ante la mente. Don't give in to your mind. All this you will come to see this very day. God bless you. So, well, let's listen to this contemplation and finish with this for today. This beautiful time we have devoted or we have invested in ourselves. Okay.
Beloved, may I remind you of something that if you stop for a moment, you will be able to verify. Every thought, every sensation, every emotion, every situation that appears through your mind and senses have come and gone. That is the nature of things for everyone, everywhere, and always. It is only when we engage with them and strongly believe and identify with them that they create some shape within you, and then you are believing that and living that shape. But again, I tell you, and you must see and confirm, has there been any thought or any sensation, any memory or desire that has come to your mind that has ever stayed with you? Everything comes and goes. If you can see and verify that this is so, then it means every thought, every feeling, every idea, every memory, every cherished feeling is illusory. None of it is real. None of it. Whatever you believe about yourself, I am this, I am that, were all thought formations, all thought base, ignited and preserved through the faculty of memory. Behind this, the unchanging and complete expanse of God's grace and presence. You are this. You're watching all this dance of life appearing through the mind as thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations. But none of them stick onto the pure self. Look, see, admit, and confirm, and live in your natural joy and freedom. Take this message inside you. I will walk alongside you to remind you of this inside your heart. Be courageous. Don't give in to your mind. And all this you will come to see this very day. God bless you. Om.
Okay, we can choose to devote sometimes to ourselves and just to stay in silence and to leave the world aside. It's a very good practice. And it's a way of loving ourselves. So let's put it into practice bit by bit, some minutes. Okay, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to share these beautiful things with you. And well, maybe we see each other. I will send you the schedule, but maybe on next Monday we can. That is a holiday, and we can meet and have a class, an on-site class, and meet in for the first time. Okay. Well, bye-bye. Thank you.
See you. Thank you.